Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I'm doing the part-time YouTuber tag. This was created by Monica AP on YouTube. I saw a few people who I really like do this video, so Butte Bean and Abby Williamson, and I thought it would be a fun tag video to do because obviously I'm a part-time YouTuber. There's no way that I would have this as my full-time job. Yeah, I find these questions really interesting, and I thought that, like, since I also sometimes get questions about like what I do outside of YouTube, that this might be a good way to talk about those too. So anyway, I am just going to get into the tag questions. What is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student, a parent? Spill the beans. So, I have many a main gig because I am a millennial and I have to do many things in order to make myself survive. So my main gig is I am a student in seminary. I'm going into, well, I'm currently in my last semester. I'm getting my Master's of Divinity. Currently I work at the library at the school that I go to, and I also do work with an interfaith nonprofit part-time as an independent contractor, and I do a lot of work with seminary students. So when I graduate, I do want to keep doing like diversity and nonprofit work, but also in connection with a church where I can kind of lead Bible studies, but also do like service projects and things of that nature, because what I want to do is I would love to get ordained as a deacon in the United Methodist Church. I know the United Methodist Church is having its problems right now, and so that obviously puts a barrier up for me, but the job of the deacon is to be a bridge between the church and the world, basically, where you'll work potentially with a church, but also with a nonprofit or outside organization. Not every deacon does things the same way, but that is kind of how I want to do it, because I find it really important that church does not be something that you only do on Sunday morning, but rather that it's a way of life. Because of my Methodist faith, I have a huge focus on like social holiness, both personal and social holiness. So it's important to be right in one's soul, but it's also important to use all of the love that you have inside of you to do good work in the world. And so I just want to do that as much as I can. Those are kind of the opportunities that I am looking for in the future, and the kinds of things that I do right now, because I really just have a passion for ministry, and I have a passion for just making the world a better place, and it is very much my calling. All of my kind of jobs and things are kind of leading me in that direction. Even my library job, even though it's not something I want to do long term, I really do enjoy helping people, and that really appeals to me. So even while I'm trying to like navigate the whole job thing, anything that I can do to help people in one way or another is really lovely. I also dog sit sometimes, and I want to do that more. I've had a few clients in the past that I've really loved, so like this is obviously like completely different than everything else, but I love dog sitting. It just makes my heart happy. What made you want to start YouTube? So I was very into YouTube when I was in high school. I watched a lot of Rhett and Link videos, Dan Is Not on Fire, Amazing Phil. Those were kind of the people who I was originally into. My best friend at the time had really gotten me into it, but I always thought it was really interesting because I really like the idea of kind of creating content for yourself and kind of being a new voice in like the online realm. I also really liked it because I grew up in a very small town, and I didn't have a lot of, like, I had some friends, but I didn't have a lot of people nearby who shared a lot of my interests. So I really appreciated that, although I like didn't really have internet at my house to be able to access that. But the times when I would like go to the library, I always thought that I spent a lot of time on YouTube. I was very online when I had the chance. So I really like the idea of just like content creation and making things for yourself. And then when I got to college, that was when I really started watching beauty YouTube specifically, and I started learning different ways of doing my makeup, and I got really good at that. And a lot of people, like my friends, were like, you should do this, you should start a YouTube channel. Like if you did that, I would watch your videos. Like, it would be really good sharing what you know, and I would love to get recommendations from you. I want to learn from you. It took a lot of people telling me to do that in order for me to actually get on camera. I was very socially anxious, but kind of what really prompted me to do it, because it was something that that was like in the back of my head for years was I gotten out of a really bad relationship at the end of my sophomore year of college, and I was feeling really down about myself, specifically about my love of makeup. The person that I was in a relationship with was very negative about my love for makeup. He just didn't like that, and so kind of as a big FU, I was like, you know what? I am incredibly bored. I have all of this time at home over the summer. I'm not doing like a summer job or anything like that. I'm just at home. I am going to start my own YouTube channel like I have said I was going to do for like 2 years. And it felt really good because I was kind of pursuing the passion that I had, and it kind of got me back into a place of self-confidence about makeup and about just kind of who I was as a person. So that's kind of my overall YouTube origin story. And obviously I'm in a much better place now than I was when I started. I'm so much more confident about myself, about my makeup, and I also know that like if the person you're in a relationship doesn't like something that you're passionate about and constantly puts you down for it, then like you don't have to be doing that, because there are better people out there for that. Because now my significant other loves that I do makeup and YouTube. We're good for each other. What is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? I do predominantly beauty videos because that is what I'm most, well, I'm not gonna say it's what I'm most passionate about. Obviously, as evidenced by my answer to my first question, I am passionate about a lot of things, but I really do love makeup, and I still don't know a lot of people in real life who enjoy makeup as much as I do, so I really just found that community really appealing because I was able to talk to people with similar interests. I've been moving a little bit more into commentary type videos because towards the end of last year I realized that that is something I would be genuinely really good at, and like for the last year or so there were so many things I wanted to talk about, but then I kept psyching myself out of doing those things because I felt like, you know, my opinions weren't good enough, or I was always gonna say something wrong, and I needed to get myself out of that fear. So once I did, it felt really good, and obviously I've been making a lot more content like that recently. That just made me really happy. I've also been getting into doing more like thrifting and sustainable fashion type videos because I really enjoy just like fashion content in general. I watch a lot of like thrift vloggers and a lot of people in the mid to plus size fashion realm here on YouTube, and I really like that, and I feel like I have something to offer in that I have a unique style there. So I kind of encompass those, like predominantly beauty, but I also do these other things because those are kind of the things that just really bring me joy. My content is what makes me happy. So, did you always know YouTube would be a side gig? Did you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? Well, I kind of mentioned this in my second question, in that like when I was in high school I thought it would be really cool to be a full-time YouTuber, but that was obviously a very romanticized version of what it would be, you know, like envisioning myself getting to like Dan and Phil and like Shane Dawson level of like fame, because it's like, oh, if I can do that, that would be so amazing, you know, just making videos and like having a stable income from that. Now I've recognized like how much work goes into that, obviously, and I don't like financial instability. This is definitely going to be a side gig. I really love it, and I don't ever want to stop doing this. Like I can't see myself stopping YouTube for a very long time, but it's definitely always going to be a side gig. Kind of around the time that I started my channel, I knew that it would just be a side gig because I also know the other thing is too, this is just a thing that I think about a lot in my life in general because I am working on going through the ordination process. People talk about, what is your call? And my answer is I'm called to a lot of things. I feel myself really passionate about a lot of different things, and so having this as a side gig in addition to like my job and my schooling and stuff really helps me because it helps me pursue all of the diversity of my interests and my passions and my callings. That way, you know, I can do the social justice work that I feel called to. I can do the ministerial work that I'm called to. I can also do the makeup that I feel called to and really passionate about. I can sing the choir that I feel really called to and passionate about. So this is something that I definitely always want it to be a side gig. I would love for it to grow. I don't ever anticipate this being my full-time job. What is your schedule like? When do you film and when do you edit? I'm kind of working on developing a schedule. because I think that was something that really held me back last year, because I was doing so much, and between like all of my work and school and stuff and doing a YouTube channel and also managing my own chronic illness, that made filming and editing really hard, because when I didn't actually plan things, I would just get home at the end of the day and just like completely crash, and all I wanted to do was just like lay in bed. I would watch YouTube videos, I would, you know, watch Netflix, but I never actually felt like editing or filming anything. Not because I didn't have ideas, because I would spend my day while like, you know, in my little itty bitty breaks between classes and work and stuff, I would spend my time like writing down video ideas and all of the things that I wanted to create, but I never had enough energy to properly do that. So over this winter break, since I was spending a lot of time just kind of at home living my life, I spent a lot of time sitting down and filming and editing. Not everything that I filmed and edited made it onto YouTube, but I'm very okay with that, because now that kind of helped me get into the habit of just like, when I have an idea, do not sit on it for 3 days. Go ahead, take that opportunity, you know, wake up a half hour earlier in the morning to film it while you're doing your makeup or something. And that genuinely really helped me. So I've been filming a lot in the mornings before I go to work or school or anything like that. And all of my classes and stuff are really consolidated on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And also one of the things that, since I do work in the library on the weekends, I kind of work in the back office, and it's largely just me supervising. So like, my boss has always been really cool about me, you know, doing homework, doing editing, stuff like that while I'm back there. You know, I work on my readings and my homework and papers and stuff, but I also use it as an opportunity to really edit my videos, because sometimes just being in a different setting really helps me. If I'm already in a space where it's like, I'm at work, I need to be productive, I can, you know, and I have the freedom to edit my videos, that helps me a lot too. So I don't necessarily have a specific schedule, but I'm slowly getting there by just encouraging myself to film and edit when I have the energy. Okay, so this kind of goes along with it. How do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead or just film what you feel like? It's definitely a combination of both. I've been working on my schedule of filming and editing 3 videos a week. So a lot of those things I'll try and sit down and film like 2 at a time, like a get ready with me while I'm talking about a beauty community thing, and then filming a video like this afterwards, like a tag video or like a favorites video or something. That way I can get multiple videos in one. That also kind of goes with the last one, but I also keep a planner for myself that I have with all my classes and my work schedule and stuff like that, and I write down like what videos I want to do for that week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or for the case of like last week, Monday, Thursday, Saturday, you know, whatever videos that I want to have for that week. Sometimes it changes because I will kind of get an idea last minute, or something will happen that I want to talk about that I feel like I would have a good voice on, and I would rather do that sooner rather than later. So I sometimes move things around, but I do generally have a good idea for what exactly I want to film. How do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you or would you ever do one on your channel? I think sponsored videos from people I trust are very good, because I think, like, I don't like undisclosed sponsorships, but honestly, so long as you say that it is a sponsored thing, I don't mind. Like, yes, I'm going to be a little bit skeptical of what is sponsoring you, but honestly, if you know, continue to use that product in other videos, I don't really have a problem with it. I would love to do a sponsored video at some point, but it would just have to be with a company that like I use and like I trust their products and stuff, because I don't ever want to recommend anything to anyone that I would think is like kind of shitty. You know, I don't think that that is necessarily a bad thing. Sponsorships aren't inherently bad, because quite frankly, if people are making their money from YouTube, it cannot just come from AdSense. So that is kind of my views on that. It's not really anything like special. It's just like, be a trustworthy human being and everything will be okay. And finally, what do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? I kind of mentioned this in my trying to plan things answer, but for me, it's really just kind of making sure I have the time and energy to do this while doing all the other things in my life, but also with managing my chronic illness. I think that that last part really makes it a lot harder for me, because like I'm in pain basically all the time. So even though I have all these wonderful ideas in my head, a lot of times like my pain will take down my mood and I won't want to film, not because I don't have the ideas, but because I don't want to be like a grumpy bitch on camera, and when I am having a bad pain day, that's a lot of what I'm like, and y'all don't need to experience that from me. I like doing this because it's something that I can do when I'm having, you know, a pain day, in that it's not something that requires, you know, a lot of athleticism or anything like that. I don't have to do any heavy lifting in order to do YouTube. But at the same time, when I'm having a bad pain day and my mood is low, I don't ever want to like come on camera and have that, not have that show, because I think it's okay to show when things are not going super great, because I think that's part of being a human being. You know, I feel like my pain only works in my favor when I'm doing a super ranty video, and I don't only want to do super ranty videos. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you want to do this video, if you are a part-time YouTuber, please do, please tell me, because I think it would be quite lovely. I'm leaving links to Monica's video as well as Abby's and Betty Jean's videos, because I thought that they had really cool and interesting answers. Anyway, I gotta go because I'm going to Mac and Cheese Festival. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see y'all in my next one. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye!